No, but here we are. We must talk about education, and I come from the Academy of Art University. I run a film program, a school, and there are several people here who also teach and are working at our school. And we train, right this moment, 1,800 students. And when they finish, they're leaving, and they go out somewhere else. They go back to China, to Europe, to LA, to New York, or where they came from, their hometowns. I very often want to say, why can't you stay in San Francisco? What keeps you from, why can't we keep some of these trained young people, who, by the way, are willing to work for near to nothing, to practice their craft? So we want to get these kids, and some of them are truly talented. Some of them do listen to some of their instructors and are leaving with some talent, and we're very excited about it. I see it daily, and I want to find ways to keep them up here. I send them out as far as I can. I get them out on interviews, and some of them, the Discovery Channel is here, by the way. And one of our esteemed teachers is a cinematographer, and he gave me a big upfront warning that they need kids. Students, people. So I sent a bunch out, and they've been getting some work. But that's non-union, and they get $100, maybe $300 a day, but that's not bad for a day's work. But I must say, we have to find we have to bring in the work. I think we have to bring in the work. I'm ready to go on the carpet and go to the length of going to LA and going around and trying to get people excited about San Francisco. But I have to say something. Amy Zins is here, and I said, Amy, can you give me some paperwork that gives me an incentive, something when we talk about it? And she rushed out something for me some months ago, which was a real beginning. And I just hope that the same thing is happening here in San Francisco, where there's an incentive for us to get people to come up and film.
Excuse me for 1 second, if I may interject something. What we were just talking about a moment ago reminded me. First of all, when I first started getting involved in acting and film, I'm not an actor, but the goal was always to bring business to San Francisco. In other words, the idea of bringing the business to the Bay Area or to San Francisco is not a new idea. It has been going 40 years ago. People were still saying the same thing. It's a great location, let's bring people and have the business here. One other thing I wanted to address is the fact that I work for a huge company, Comcast. Comcast pays me much more than union scale to work. They're non-union. They are vehemently non-union. They take care of their people and so forth. But as I was just mentioning a moment ago, they're afraid of losing control of their employees. And I'm a union person. I'm in SAG and AFTRA, and I was in SEG when there was a SEG. So you have a conflict of interest in terms of people who want to work, as we're saying, we're willing to work for a small amount of money, but at the same time, is that diminishing what people can get if they do work here? How many people here are in one of the unions? Screen Actors Guild or AFTRA, or those kinds of things. You know that when you go to work, you sign a contract, you know that you're protected. I worked at KGO Channel 7 for 20 years. We signed contracts and you knew exactly where you stood. When you work non-union, and I'm not against that, by the way, you don't really know what's going to happen. And Comcast just recently let go 30 out of 65 in a production group. 30 people. They gave 2 weeks notice, and that was it. It's a great company to work for. You want to make sure that your job is protected for one reason or another. So you have the situation where the unions are important, and yet, as Diane was talking about, other jobs do come along that are non-union. And you have to make your own decision about how you work.
Well, and one of the things I wanted to speak to was about the San Francisco incentives, because they are there. and they're actually pretty damn good in my opinion. I mean, I'm impressed with it. I'm just anxious to make a movie that I can work them, you know, because if you look on the website, you can see that it actually makes it a pretty attractive. There's a pretty attractive package there, and then in addition, the commission's planning to be working with the hotels and the restaurants and bringing on, you know, trying to get everybody to work together to make it even more attractive. And I think that's going to happen relatively quickly.
Debbie, weren't there millions of dollars still holding up because of this hotel tax that was supposed to be paid years ago? I have a package in my office handed to me 6 years ago by someone who was in charge of it for the mayor. And I have it sitting still. And I've often wondered what happened to all that hotel tax money that was supposed to go to the arts. I have not heard about this infusion of millions of dollars that was supposed to be collected, and I'm curious just because it was a hotel tax set aside for the arts.
Yes, but Diane, haven't you seen all of the, you know, incredible artwork that now is all over San Francisco that Stanley Getty, who is the art commissioner, and he's a very, very talented guy, and the artwork is beautiful. But the problem is that we're losing really our cultural identity, and we can't really let that happen. I'm just wondering what the tax incentives are here in Marin. You know, if it behooves people to come here, because I have friends who are movie producers, and one girl I'm thinking of particularly, Jennifer Perini, who did Charlie Bartlett with Robert Downey Jr. and then Smothers with Diane Keaton and Liv Ullmann. So she flies down to LA every week, leaves her family of 4 to have her office on the Paramount lot. And now she's doing a new movie. And what I want to ask you, or the panel, and also other people, we know we have people like Kyrus Cedric, who commutes to do Closer. I mean, what will it take for us to get our people who actually live here to stop doing business down there and to actually have their offices here? Take an office at Kerner, you know? And take an office at Kerner and make this the new Paramount or whatever, but instead of like leaving your home, we can do it here.
What's very odd is that I fly 15 instructors up from LA who work to teach at the Academy of Art every week. So we bring teachers up here from LA, writers, directors who are making films. Literally, one director's doing 2 Lifetime movies in a row, but he begged them to let him come and teach 2 days here, Thursday and Friday, and he got them off, and he's going to keep teaching. So I'm just saying, we are trying to get people excited about it by doing it other methods of education, using that tool. But these are areas about having a lot, an office on a lot, to be in business. Can we open this up to the crowd to ask? Because you're going to be our answers, not all of us here. Yes?
Well, I'm curious about the question. Have you asked some of these people that you know what would it take? The direct question, what would it take for you to stop flying to LA and make your home here? What do I need to do to make you call San Francisco?
Well, I think we have to, actually, this is a better question for Rose than it is for me, because she's been in this business for not a long time. I can't say a long time. I'm just going to say like
First
a
of all, I
little
want
bit
to
of
know,
time.
how are the Giants doing? Does anybody have a score?
I think they're losing.
They're losing still, they're still playing? Okay, 42. Johnny, this mic, okay, there, it's a little better. Oh man, that's my whole world trying to get work in the Bay Area, and it's bottom line, the studios aren't evil and mean, but they have shareholders, and they can get a 40% tax rebate in Michigan. The San Francisco tax rebate is reasonable, but it is nowhere near 40%. 40 cents on every dollar. England offers the same thing. It's just, I think that's a losing battle. The only chance is that those rebates maybe aren't gonna...
No. Try mine.
Carol, there we go. Oh, wow, that really works. I feel so powerful. So maybe these rebates aren't going to pay off. I'm hearing now noises that Michigan's going bankrupt, you know, that they can't afford it. Well, California is bankrupt, so I don't even blame California for not sponsoring our tax incentives. Because people are saying, well, schools, and there's so many things that need it, and these are just movies, so we can't help out. So I feel like it's a really tough battle to get people here. The deals are made for your film in LA. The deal makers are not here, the studios are in LA. So they go down there to hang out at parties with those people so that they get thought of to be in a role and stuff. But we can produce, and we are a hotbed for computer graphics, clearly. There's so many great paying jobs in that field, and that's what people are looking to Northern California for. Independent film is supposed to have this whole new life with all the distribution channels. Where is that? I'm not seeing it. Debbie, you're in that world. Where the hell is it?
Well, because it's confusing. If you want the truth of the matter, you make a film and then you have all these different options. Maybe they're going to be successful of putting your film out there. I mean, I can, you know, depending on the film, depending on, for example, La Mission. We took the film and without having to pay for any advertising, although the boys went out and really sang a hard song trying to get people to go to the theaters to see it. The first $500,000 that we got, the first 500K, was actually not that hard to get because we made it in California, you know, because everybody was sort of like preaching to the choir, the movie. But then the second half of that money, which we made $1 million in about 2 months, was a lot harder because we were taking the movie on the road. And since there was no advertising, you know, it was just basically the Brat Brothers, you know, doing the rah-rah, sis, boom, bah, trying to get people to go into the theaters, and they did. And now that the DVD sales are out, now that it went to DVD, the money is, you know, really started to flow in because people started to buy the movie, and it's all been pretty good, except for the fact that that Five Sticks Films is having to sue the distributor because they didn't give them the money that they made on the film. So see, right away you have all of a sudden the problem between distribution and production, and it's a very sticky thing, and I could sit here and talk about it all night and bore the hell out of you because it's all about business. But the bottom line of it is that there's a lot of avenues for distribution, and not any one of them is really proven yet. So while everybody's trying to figure out, oh gee, should I sell it on Amazon? Should I try to get it into the theaters? Can I trust Lionsgate? Can I trust, you know, this or that or the other Screen Gems distribution company that's just sprung up, you know, over on the corner? You know, you just don't know. There's no way to tell what's going to be a successful way to distribute your film. And if you can't figure that out, then it's really hard in the first place for somebody to invest money in your project if you can't show them how the money's going to come back. And this is a problem.